Most people say high-end cuisine is only for experienced chefs. I say, that.
Yes, sir.
Just have a call on my cell phone, sorry.
Yeah, Scallops? Good food delivery? Let's get ready to cook. Hey, I'm Chuck Hughes, Iron Chef competitor, owner of Garde Manger restaurant in Montreal, and today I'm with Jordana and we're gonna cook some damn good food.
More specifically, brown butter scallops, Old Bay cauliflower, and watercress salad.
Jordana and I designed this recipe. Look, couple ingredients, simple technique, and you're gonna cook like a chef.
Now let's do it.
Let's go. Scallops is probably one of my favorite seafoods to cook. It's one of those things that people don't really cook at home much. There's kind of a fear of overcooking them or not knowing what to do. So I'm hoping to demystify all this today. You know, scallops, delicious, easy, local, and absolutely delicious.
Can you hand me the recipe card, please?
Oh yeah. Here you go.
But this is a cookbook.
Yes, and it contains 85 of my favorite recipes that I love to share with my family. Even some of my grandmother's classics are in here. What?
Let's get cooking with the scallops.
All right, let's get cooking.
Today with Chef Chuck, we're cooking with scallops, flat leaf parsley, cauliflower rice, capers, white balsamic vinegar, butter, and Old Bay seasoning. Step 1, roast your cauliflower.
Can't be easier than that, right?
Pretty simple.
Roasting pan?
Yeah, sheet pan.
Always a good start.
Yeah, we'll line it. Nice parchment paper there.
So, you know, parchment paper, I think is a good investment. Keeps things clean, makes it easy, simple. And we've got our cauliflower that's already really prepared, so.
Yeah, it's riced for us, so.
Just really open it up.
Yeah.
And we'll just dump it right here.
Yeah, we're gonna mix it. We're gonna mix it.
You want to spread it out as much as possible. You want to maximize the roasting.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the best part about why we're roasting it is we're gonna add like another dimension of flavor. So I'm just spreading it out very easily. And so far,
we're all set. And
pretty simple.
And we turned on our oven. Our oven's at 400.
Oven's at 400.
Yeah.
We've got our cauliflower, and now we have our Old Bay seasoning. Kind of a little shortcut. You know, people don't realize Old Bay seasoning is all stuff that you have in your pantry. Yeah. They're just kind of all put together.
Right, so, saves you an extra.
You know, mustard, paprika, garlic powder, a whole bunch of good stuff. And there's this little spoon here to kind of, but I like to actually feel how much I'm gonna be putting in there. Kind of like salt as well. Just, you don't wanna over salt or over season. So I'm gonna go with my hands, make sure you get it all over, and you don't wanna put too much.
Yeah, because this has, it's intense. So you gotta taste it first. There's no harm in that, so you know how much it's gonna go on your cauliflower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not too much, we just want to season it. We also, you know, we chose cauliflower for a reason, right? So we still want to taste it.
Yeah.
So a little bit, just like that. It smells so good, thank you. You know, you've got also the celery salt in there.
Yeah.
Something that people don't really use much, but I feel adds so much freshness and flavor.
Great with seafood too.
Great with seafood. Olive oil.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go pretty generously with the olive oil, why not?
Yeah,
so
don't be shy.
Okay. And touch of salt, not much.
And there's a lot of pepper in this in Old Bay already, so you can add a bit more if you're interested, but not necessary.
If you're really into pepper, you can add a bit. We can just do like, a thought of pepper.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
A whisper.
And that's it. Put it in the oven, 400, for about 12 minutes until it's perfectly roasted, and we're good to go.
Step 2, mise en place.
Mise en place, which I don't think people understand how important that is.
Very key.
But luckily with good food, a lot of it is already done. I think cooking is probably one of the most freeing things. You start with the recipe, you look where you're going, you have your mise en place, you get organized, but the more organized, the more time you have to improvise and try new things. So we never know, whatever's lying around might end up in that dish. All right, so we have probably the most beautiful scallops ever.
Stunning.
There's absolutely no smell. It smells a little bit like the ocean, a little bit briny and salty, but there's really no smell. Yeah. We've washed them, they're clean, and now all I want to do is pat them dry and make sure that there's no moisture, because once they hit the pan, if they're super moist, it's just gonna start popping everywhere. So you wanna really pat it down. So scallops are ready, a little bit of salt. Once again, you know, I don't wanna over season, but you do want to bring out the flavor. So some salt, a little touch of pepper. I'm gonna go lightly, and white pepper could work, but it has such a different flavor.
Yeah, it's quite different.
I kind of find that it alters it a lot. So a little bit of black pepper, and as you'll see here, there's a little mussel right on the end. So in restaurants, we'll take that mussel off. We'll make a mousse. We'll put it in a stock. We'll reuse it. We definitely won't waste it. But at home, keep the mussel on. It's a little bit more firm, but it tastes great. And there's no waste.
Exactly. Less waste, the better. And while you do that, we're gonna get some parsley, because the parsley is gonna go in our dish as well. So we're not gonna put any of this parsley to waste, but we're gonna peel off the leaves first, and we're gonna roll them up so that we can chop them finely. And you know, you do your best at home, but
I love parsley. Obviously, nice green, vibrant color and freshness, but the flavor is really good too.
Yeah, and the stems, don't be shy. The stems also are a little bit more intense with their flavor, but they're equally delicious, and we're gonna include them in our dish as well. So there's less waste, like we said. That's
a little crunch as well.
That's what we're trying to do. Keep it
beautiful,
as sustainable as possible. Step 3, cook the scallops.
So scallops, you want to cook very delicately at high heat, if that makes sense. So
let's make sure our pan is on.
Yeah, our pan is
nice and hot. Ooh,
it's hot. All right, so our pan is hot, and we're gonna give it quite a bit of a punch, because we want to caramelize and really get that crust going.
Yeah, we're gonna start with some oil in the pan.
A little bit of oil. I've got some avocado oil, so not too much. I just want to coat the bottom of the pan here. And at home, when you're doing this, you're gonna want to have your fan on, because we really want to give them a good sear.
And we're gonna do a little like intermission. We're gonna sear them on one side, take them out, like let them chill while we make that brown butter, which is gonna come next, and then we'll put them back in, right?
Yes. And when you add any type of protein in a pan that's got oil, you always want to kind of put it away from you. And now we've got the sizzle, which is a good sign. So I'm gonna pop them all in here. You want to use an adequate pan that's going to be able to hold all the scallops. You don't want to overcrowd a small pan, and then it just won't cook properly.
Right.
Oh my God, that smells good already.
Yeah, you gotta already smell the ocean.
It smells so good. So I know a lot of people at home tend to cook with a non-stick pan, but if I was to sear a protein like a scallop or a piece of fish, I would actually use a stainless steel pan to kind of...
What's the trick? What's the trick?
Yeah, the trick is if you put the right amount of oil, the right amount of heat, and you let it sit there for the right time.
You hold your horses. You don't go and start moving it around. Yeah.
Cooking is all about smells and flavor, but it's also about hearing. There's a lot of moisture in these scallops, so the less sizzle I start hearing, technically, more water is out.
Ready. We're getting there. We're getting closer.
And you don't want to touch them too much, or you just want to let them go, and you want to get that good sear.
Yeah.
And when we take them out, we're going to put them on a plate here with some paper to soak up the excess oil. We're only cooking it on one side because we don't want to overcook it.
Correct.
I think my most memorable experience cooking seafood has to be on the east coast of Canada, where the seafood comes right out of the water. It doesn't need any salt, any seasoning, simple technique, good ingredients, salty, a little bit sweet and briny. It's perfect. All right, let's give it a little check here.
Looking very nice.
Really good. You can see here.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. You can get those out, I think.
Nice and caramelized. Yeah. Okay, and so I'm just gonna get them out and put them caramelized side up.
There you go.
This is good to go. We're just gonna let the scallops rest just like that. And now in the same pan,
we're gonna do our next step.
Exactly.
Step 4, make the brown butter.
What are your thoughts on brown butter?
I mean, who doesn't like brown butter? It's so delicious, nutty, buttery, I don't know. Amazing, amazing.
It's the best.
Yeah, there you go.
So same pan.
Yep.
And
it's okay, the oil's still in there. We're gonna add to it.
A little bit of oil actually will kind of help put this all together. And we've got all the flavor at the bottom here from the scallops, right? So you don't want to lose that. No. So you don't want to take another pan. First, less dishes.
More dishes, yeah, who needs that?
So we're using less equipment and we're harnessing all that flavor.
Yeah.
And so my pan is still hot, not blazing hot, but still pretty hot. And I'm gonna add the butter and we'll see it slowly melt. And I like to keep it a little bit lower to start and then
Yeah, low.
Add a
build,
little
let that
bit of
flavor
temperature.
build, right?
Yes, because you want to know where you're at. And
maybe we can tell what exactly is brown butter.
yeah, well, you're really taking butter and you're caramelizing it.
Right.
You know, it's really adding a little bit of heat to this butter, and what it's gonna do is it's really gonna completely change the flavor profile.
Yeah.
You know, it'll still be sweet, but a lot nuttier.
Yeah.
So this is like textbook brown butter right now. It's starting to foam up, and once it starts to foam, you wanna
keep it moving.
Keep it moving and let it bubble. And you can see the butter is slowly starting to change color, and it's caramelizing.
Don't get stressed out. This is the goal.
We're gonna keep it going. It's bubbling, it's going. We can see bits and pieces of the actual milk solids that start to caramelize and get crispy, and that's gonna add a little bit of crunch as well. We're really, really, really close. Look at that.
Yeah.
See now,
nice
you could tell.
You can move it off the heat if you feel like it's going too quickly.
I'm gonna give it just a little touch more, and then we're gonna add the last ingredients, right?
We're gonna add the capers for that acidity. It's also gonna help stop that brown butter from continuing to cook, because that acidity will like halt the process. Oh look,
beautiful.
Are we ready?
All right.
Should we add?
Toss it in.
Bam.
So capers, and that was such a great tip. You know, it will stop it from cooking a little bit. So in a recipe where you would maybe be using this brown butter in a later or in another day, I would say get it out of the pan immediately, let it cool down so it doesn't overcook.
Right.
But now we've got our brown butter that's perfect, smells amazing, the capers, the parsley, and I'm gonna turn the heat off, and now I'm gonna add the scallops back in, just to bring them up to temperature and baste them with all this brown butter.
And finish the other side of the scallop.
Even though I cut the heat, there's still a lot of heat in there, and it's just gonna fully cook our scallops and bring them back to temperature.
Yeah.
Very important. Even at home, I mean, I don't do it every time, but even at home, I like to heat the plates a little bit.
How do you do that at home?
Yeah, I just
microwave, hot water?
No, I just pop them in the oven, whatever I'm cooking. And a dish like this, it's very important because the butter, the second it gets cold, it's gonna tend to wanna kind of harden a little bit. Yeah. So we've got our scallops, they're in there. Just take a little spoon. Sorry.
You may have a little baby spoon.
There we go, baby spoon.
There we go.
Big guy, little spoon. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, it seems
delicate.
to work.
It works.
There you go.
I'm
a delicate guy.
You get a little of that brown butter.
Yeah, so
off
you
of
just
the scallops, right?
try and baste it a little bit, you know. But really, this is it.
Step 5: make the salad.
So we've got watercress, and we're gonna season it just a touch.
Just a bit. It doesn't need much. It's very delicate.
Exactly. A lot of richness with the butter and the scallops.
Gotta cut it with something a little peppery, right?
Exactly. What would you use if we didn't have watercress?
Could use some arugula, has that same pepperiness, or some pea shoots if you want a little bit more sweetness.
Crunchy, fresh.
You want something just to add there to the top to bring it all together. You're gonna use a bit of white balsamic vinegar. You don't really need too much, maybe just a bit.
Beautiful. Oh, salt, pepper.
There you go.
There you go, right here. And let me give it just a little.
Just a bit.
Olive oil.
Touch of pepper to add to that pepperiness. And then don't be shy, use your hands. Our hands are the most gentle tool if you use them properly. So we're just gonna coat it.
That's a good tip, right? You don't wanna play with it too much.
Yeah, you're gonna use the tongs, it's gonna like kill it. They're so nice and delicate, so.
Beautiful.
There you have it.
Time to plate.
Step 6, plate your dish.
Cauliflower is here.
Right from the oven, nice and warm.
Still hot. I mean, obviously this is the part of the recipe where people can kind of be creative and have free reign on what they want to do.
For sure.
What I would do is, you know, I like to plate stuff differently on different days, but you know, we've got 6 scallops, so I would probably do something like 6 little mounds, you know, and it smells really good.
Yeah, you got that.
You know,
Old Bay there.
Yeah, exactly.
Very yummy.
The spices, the roasted cauliflower. So sort of like that. We'll just pop scallops right on top.
Make sure we're gonna get some of that sauce in there after.
I'll try and find the
nicest
ones there.
Gotta make sure you serve it on the nicest side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And now take a little bit of
this out of the way, yeah.
So really kind of get that sauce here in the bottom. And then you just go.
That's the liquid gold here.
You know, a caper, a little bit of that parsley, and then just for good measure.
A little bit all over the place.
A little bit everywhere.
And then we got the little salad that's lightly tossed.
Yeah, crisp, fresh. perfect just like that. And we just kind of lay it on. And, you know, like we said, it could be watercress, arugula, any type of lettuce that's got some crunch, a little bit of bite, and look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, you know, a couple simple steps, really good ingredients, and you have something that looks
This beautiful.
Like
Look at that.
Should we eat?
I think so. Let's
do it.
do it.
Hey, Jordana, catch this.
Let's eat.
Let's try it.
Yeah, let's go. Dig in.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
So good. Delicious. You get all the flavors in one bite.
Scallops.
So go. Look at that.
Good
well
job.
done.
Cheers.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
You got to give me this recipe. Good Food works with the best local suppliers to get the best Canadian food on your table. It's what I do at the restaurants, what I do for my family, and it's what Good Food is doing for you.